The story of my life. Chapter 10. Saturday came, and it was a new month. I entered Bisol's room and saw that my mom was all dressed up. I walked to where she was wearing her earrings in front of the mirror just to look at her beautiful face. Her baby. Hey, baby. She turned to look at me with a smile. She was in a blue blouse and a black jeans. You look simple and pretty. You going somewhere? Gideon invited me to a birthday party. It's a small gathering. Do you think I'm okay like this? It's pretty. To whose birthday? His mom's. She is 70. Is Gideon the first child? No, he's not. He's the third child of his family and the only son. His two sisters are married with kids, she explained, wearing the necklace that Mr. Johnson gave her on one of their anniversaries. Seems like you know much about him already. Just for some weeks, I expressed, not hiding the suspicion in my tone. My mom looked at me and arched one of his eyebrows. Rather insinuating, young lady. Well, nothing, just curious, you know. No, I don't, and we are just friends. I told you that. I've known him before. We met at a restaurant where I was working as a waitress before I married your father. Well, adopted father. But he is still your dad. Doesn't okay? No matter what. She cupped my shoulder as she gazed long into mine, begging me to view Mr. Johnson as my father. Whatever, I muttered. As at that time, I was engaged to your father, so we were just friends. He was a frequent customer. We stopped communicating for a while since I got married and I really saw. Chatted with him because I stopped working. She paused and went to where her shoes were, thinking which to wear. Take the black wedge and carry the black bag, I suggest. That will do, thanks. She sat on the bed to wear it, so he chatted me up one day and said he wanted to say hi, and I used the opportunity to tell him how bad I needed a job. Then he said there was a vacancy. I think I told you about that part. Yes, you did. I turned to the mirror and couldn't resist but pinch myself when I caught a pimple. Have you spoken with Mrs. Carson? Oh, no, honey, I forgot. Not actually because I had it in mind. She gave me an apologetic look and began to dial Miss Carson's number. I was a little sad. How could she forget about that and didn't forget about Gideon's invitation? I looked around my sister's room and it was obvious if anyone came in here, they would know it was our kids' room. The room was painted in a baby pink color and was already fading. Her bed was opposite, where Granny and Mom were sharing. Her closet was covered with cartoon stickers. Her old toys and dolls were packed in a corner. There was a wallpaper of frozen Moana, Mr. Undespicable, and that of Hiccup and Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. She was a cartoon lover. Miss Carson picked up the call of Thurman rings and my mom put it on speaker for me to hear. Good morning, Mrs. Johnson. Happy new month, and how are you doing? The enthusiasm in her voice was as if she was chilling in the sky. My mom and I exchanged looks and smiled. We heard her giggling as she spoke. Hi, happy new month to you too, and I'm okay. And you? Me? I'm happy. There was a tone of happiness in her voice. My mom raised her eyebrows. Her date went well, and I knew she was still with her husband. That's good to hear. I need to tell you something, and it is about my daughter, Tassin. You and I have talked about the issue of her getting bullied many times, and to be honest, I don't think you understand the pain of being tormented, because I don't think you are putting yourself in their shoes. I'm sorry to hear that. It's not like I didn't know of it, and I usually give those bullies detention. Mrs. Carson was saying, her voice changed to the serious one. Not the kind of detention of making the bullies go read in a room for long hours, but give them something hard to do, like cleaning up the school threatening to expel them or suspending them for school. I'm not trying to tell you what you should do, but I hope you understand. Do you know that bullying can lead to suicide? Especially when the victim can't take it anymore? Especially when there is nobody to uproot the feeling of low self-esteem in them by encouraging them. My daughter cried, telling me what happened to her recently in school. Now imagine what she would be doing behind closed doors. I felt embarrassed, Mom told her I cried. I didn't expect her to say I cried my eyes out, but just explained that I was bullied. Now she must be thinking I was a crybaby indeed. Miss Kirsten sighed. Miss Johnson, I seriously understand this whole situation. I doubt it. Miss Johnson, I'm sorry. I will do something about it. Well, better do it quickly. Mom snapped. Don't fight her, Mom, I whispered. I'm not. This whole thing is getting on my nerves, Susan, and I'm scared too. I swallowed the saliva and imagined how scared she must have been thinking. I was going to kill them myself. Justin, are you there? Hey, darling. I'm sorry. I will do something very soon. On Monday to be exact. I'm so sorry. Yes, ma'am. Just be quick and don't forget my mom said. Sure, I won't. Thanks for calling. Yeah, bye. Mom said and hung up. Thanks, Mom. You don't have to thank me. It's my responsibility as your mother. I don't know what you have been up to behind that closed door. Mostly crying yourself to sleep or what? Mom, I hug her. Thank you. I love you. Look who is looking gorgeous, Bisola said as she entered and put her books down. Thank you. Where are you off to? A birthday. You want to come along? Sure, Bisola said and quickly went to her closet to change. What about the assignment? Done, Mom. You didn't ask me if I wanted to come along, Mom. You're a big girl, and you think Bisola's small girl? Yeah, I think so. So much privilege for the last born, but I'm not a small girl, Bisola said, wearing a blue jumpsuit and a white top underneath. My mom and I shared a look again at Bisola's ignorance and said, Yes, you aren't. 3 minutes later, we left the room to go to the sitting room. There, Granny was watching a movie. Where are you going looking so standing, Rachel? Thank you. I'm going to a birthday party. It's good. Granny smiled. Miss Johnson emerged with a smiling face as he typed on his phone, but when he saw us, the smile disappeared. He looked Mom all over and diverted his eyes to his mother. The way he looked at her at times used to give me hope that they would be back, but no. When this happened between them, it was always worse than their previous fight. It was hopeless to hope. Mom Sarah is coming over to Lagos soon. Fear gripped me as I heard those words. I grasped my mom's hand and looked at her. Instead of asking me what was wrong, she gave a reassuring smile. She sensed my fears and questioned that they were going through my head. When is she coming over? Mom asked. I don't know, today or next week. To do what? Granny asked. Aren't you glad your only daughter is coming over to see you? She is just coming because she misses you, he said, looking over at me, and I went behind my mom's back. And maybe you will go with her. She's going nowhere, my mom snapped. Now let's not start this morning. Look, it's her decision to make, but she shouldn't come my way in this house. You already made that clear. For him to say continuously, he meant it. She won't. And for the love of God, love her the way you used to. Rachel, I told you earlier not to start with me this morning. Is something wrong with you? He angrily asked. No, nothing is wrong with me. Smiling, he took a step forward. Don't attempt to break your skull this morning. It's too early to do that. Do that, and you will have to break my skull too. Granny interjected. You need to stop turning your wife into a punching bag at every chance you got. That is not how I raised you, Ola. Mom, don't stress yourself this morning, he said, and brought out a lighter to light his cigarette. And you? He pointed at me. Make your decision soon. Our eyes locked, and it was so surreal. This man had drastically changed towards me. It was still unbelievable. He didn't seem like someone that had once loved me before. If he hadn't witnessed our relationship from the start, he would think we were haters from heaven. Then he left the sitting room, well, the smoke floated in the air. I was speechless, but what I only seemed capable of saying was a murmur of appreciation to Mom. You didn't have to stress yourself too much over it. I got you, and God has your back. She kissed my forehead and left for the party with Basala. I sat on the bed with my legs folded, hand wrapped around them, while my head rested on it. It was a boring day for me. I'd called Basala and Toyin if I could come over, but unfortunately, they were preparing for tonight's party that was always took place every Saturday night in their group, so-called group. I got stung by a mosquito and it slapped my arm. What was the mosquito thinking of biting my arm in broad daylight? Actually, it was dusk, but I still could see it. I took it and flicked it away. My aunt was coming soon, but I did want to go and let this family be burden free and let this family be happy again. I was never the type of person looking forward to Aunt Sarah's visit when I was a child because she had made it obvious she didn't like me. She had given me a bad look that got me running over for my mom's protection. Thinking that was funny. My mom would carry me and looking jokingly warn Aunt Sarah to be better stop that. But she never listened. I was the only one that understood all that. And to crown it all, she always admired Bosola and Baya, which got me curious as to why she hated me so much, and even saddened my heart. Was it because I was adopted? That had to be it. But wasn't she the one that insisted they pick me up in the orphanage because I was hungry for love or something? I'm confused. I exhaled. But do I want to go and live with someone that never liked me since I was a toddler? Or since I barely kept my legs steady whenever I stood on them? She didn't like me, and living with her would only make it a double hell for me. She was a puzzle. I laid in the bed in the same position. I was in a hurry, a brief knocked, and before I could reply, the door opened. "Oh, baby, are you okay?" That was Granny's voice. I nodded and smiled. "Do you have to curl up like that? You will disfigure your posture, Jason." "No, adjust," she said, and I obeyed by lying on my stomach. "You have been indoors since Rachel left for the party." "Are you sure you're okay?" She said on the bed. "Tell me about your daughter." "Well, Sarah is a good person, and at the same time, she can be complicated. Is this about the fact that my son wanted you to leave for her house?" "Yeah, Ma, I'm just scared of how she's going to treat me." "You stay here, baby," Granny said, taking my hair from my face. "Make the best decision of your own. You know, Sarah accidentally killed her father by pranking him that she was a big snake." "What? Prank Grandpa?" "Yeah, and she was childish. Though my sweet late husband was already hypertensive. He was scared to the extent that he missed his steps when he was trying to look for a cutlass to kill the snake. It was a sad day for me, and Sarah hated herself for causing that. He was in his late 50s. Sarah's method to Frank ass, old so we could catch fun, but it turned out the opposite way. She hardly ate or talked to anyone. I was so busy grieving that I didn't notice that. It was Ola who told me this. Ola was the one running the house, cooking, especially care and love he was showing to us in Sarah, and I kept to our thoughts. Sarah came out of it more than I did and became wild, more stubborn, reckless, and disobedient. Well, now I thank God he had taken control over her. But seriously, her stubbornness is always there. She forgave herself, and that made her move on quicker than I did. Granny sighed. I reached for her hand and rubbed it. It is my way of saying it was going to be fine. You know, I still wonder why she isn't ready to get married. She is in her early 30s. Don't you think that's a little bit late? I licked my lips and shrugged. I really have to talk to her again about it when she gets here. Everything will be fine, okay? Sure, she smiled. Would you want me to get your something? It's evening already and it's setting in and you haven't eaten after what you took this morning. I'm fine, Grandma, I said, laying on my back immediately. Let me go get your noodles. She stood up and laughed. Granny was not caring what was Aunt Sarah going to be? I shook my head. I decided to make a decision. Truth be told, I didn't trust her and I feared her. Groaning, I threw my pillow across the room and I wish I knew what to do or make this family happy again. The cold breeze blew in, and I went to the window to see what was going on. It was becoming dark, and the breeze wasn't settling for less. Apparently, it was going to rain. I shut the windows and pulled down the curtains. I went for my turtleneck sweater as the lightning struck and the thunder followed, making me jump in fright. Oh my god! Shouldn't Mom and Bisola be back by now? I hope they get back before Mr. Johnson does. I wish I had a phone to check on them. I closed my eyes as a full realization of how much I love them and hit me. I opened my eyes and three words followed. I'm staying here, for better or worse. I was staying here. The door opened and Bayo came in, gave me a peck. He went to my closet looking for something. I don't remember sharing my clothes with you. I'm cold, he said, showing off his tit. So? My curtains are dirty. I just need to lend yours today. You know I love you, right? He smiled and wore my cardigan, zipping it up. Don't bribe me with those words. I waved him away. I have decided to stay. Stay where? He asked ignorantly, or was he just faking it? The rain started pouring down, and the thought of being in my arm band thrilled me. You know, about if I should stay with you guys or live with Aunt Sarah. Really? He asked with a laugh. Yeah, brother. You made the right decision. Thank you. He hugged me. Do you believe things will be back to normal? Yes, I do. Good. Have you told Mom and Dad? Nope. That will be when they get back. Alright. Listen, I heard Grandma scream louder this time. Oh, I had forgotten about the noodles coming. I responded and dashed down the stair with Bio behind me.